Let me ask you something personal. What if someone told you that nearly all deaths after the age of 75 come down to just 5 causes? And what if most of them were things you could do something about? Not someday, right now. These aren't far-off threats, they're real, but so are the solutions. In this video, you'll learn how to take back control, step by step, because even small choices today can help you live stronger, longer, and better tomorrow. Welcome to the Golden Age. Around here, we believe that getting older does not mean slowing down or giving up. It means getting smarter about how we care for ourselves. If you think this, you probably want to stay healthy, active, and independent for as long as possible. And maybe you are thinking about someone you care about too. In this video, we will discuss 5 major reasons people over 75 face serious health issues. But don't worry, these are not scary statistics. They are real problems, but they also come with real solutions. And the best part? You are in control. A few small changes can go a long way. So, let's take that first step together. Let's be honest. Most people do not realize they are in trouble until something serious happens. A little wheezing? They call it getting older. That stumble on the porch? Just a misstep. But these little signs often mean more. The real danger is not just the illness itself, it is the delay in responding to it. Time matters. Action matters. The truth is, a lot of these risks can be managed early if we know what to look for. That is what this video is all about. 5 major health threats after the age of 75 and what you can start doing today. Because awareness is the first step, and every step after that gets you closer to staying strong, safe, and independent. The first, heart disease. Let's start with the #1 cause of death for people over 75, heart disease. Now that might not come as a big shock, but what surprises many people is just how much of it can be prevented. That's right. It is not always just about genes or age. A lot of it comes down to daily habits. What we eat, how we move, and how we manage stress. Take Harold, for example. He is 76, a retired high school teacher who spent most of his career on his feet, active and energetic. But after retirement, he slowed down. His days were filled with TV, frozen dinners, and fewer walks. When he started feeling tired all the time, he figured it was just old age catching up. But his doctor thought otherwise. A quick checkup showed Harold had high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, and early signs of heart failure. That news shook him. But here is the hopeful part. He turned things around. He cut back on salty snacks, added fresh fruits and vegetables to every meal, and joined a local walking group that met 3 mornings a week. Within a few months, Harold started feeling more like himself again. The heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it needs good care. That means regular activity, nourishing food, and enough rest, but it also means paying attention. You might feel a little more winded than usual or like your legs get heavy on the stairs. These things might seem minor, but they can be early signs of trouble, and the sooner you catch them, the better your chances of doing something about it. One of the big culprits is high blood pressure. The problem is, it rarely comes with symptoms. You don't feel it, you don't see it, and yet it's quietly putting extra strain on your heart and arteries every single day. That's why regular checkups are so important. Even if you feel fine, your numbers might be telling a different story. Let's not forget about diet. A lifetime of processed foods, too much salt, and unhealthy fats can clog arteries and slow blood flow. But the fix is not complicated. More leafy greens, more berries, more beans and whole grains. Foods that are naturally rich in fiber and antioxidants. And of course, cutting back on the things that do damage. Fried foods, soda, and heavily salted snacks. And then there's movement. You do not need to run marathons, but a simple walk each day, some light stretching, or even dancing in the kitchen can do wonders. It keeps your blood moving, strengthens your heart, and lifts your mood, too. Remember, the goal is not perfection, it is progress. Stress is another factor that people often overlook. Ongoing stress releases hormones that can increase inflammation and raise your blood pressure. Finding ways to relax, whether through prayer, deep breathing, music, or time with friends, can help your heart more than you might think. And let's not forget sleep. Poor sleep can raise your risk of heart problems, especially if it's disrupted by conditions like sleep apnea. If you snore loudly or wake up feeling tired, it might be worth talking to your doctor. At the end of the day, heart disease is not just a health issue, it is a quality of life issue. It can take away your energy, your independence, and your confidence. But the flip side is powerful too. Taking care of your heart can give you more freedom, more joy, and more years to enjoy life. So if there is one takeaway from this section, it is this: do not wait for a crisis. Take action now. Because your heart is working hard for you, every minute of every day, give it the care it deserves. You are worth it. The second, falls and injuries. Let's talk about something that most people underestimate, but that has life-changing consequences for older adults: falling. It might seem small, a little trip over a rug, a missed step on the stairs, but for someone over 75, one fall can change everything. Nina, a 79-year-old widow in Arizona, had always been sharp and self-sufficient. She cooked, drove herself to church, and gardened every morning. But one evening, reaching for a mixing bowl on the top shelf, she lost her balance. She hit the kitchen floor hard. The result? A fractured hip, surgery, and several long months of recovery. But the physical injury was just the beginning. What shocked Nina more than the pain was how much confidence she lost. She began questioning everything: stairs, reaching for anything, walking on uneven ground. She avoided social events. She stopped her daily walks. She even hesitated to get out of bed some mornings. That fear of falling, it is very real. And unfortunately, it often creates a dangerous cycle. The less you move, the weaker your muscles get. The weaker your muscles, the higher your risk of falling again. Falls are the second leading cause of injury and death among older adults, but they rarely happen out of nowhere. There is usually a combination of risk factors: poor lighting in hallways, slippery floors, loose rugs, or even medications that affect balance or blood pressure. Some people are surprised to learn that even common prescriptions for sleep, anxiety, or blood pressure can cause dizziness or slower reaction times. If you have ever stood up and felt lightheaded, your body may be giving you a warning sign. The good news is that there are clear steps you can take to protect yourself or someone you love. Start with a fall risk assessment. Your doctor or a physical therapist can help evaluate your balance, gait, and overall muscle strength. Home safety is next. Secure throw rugs. Add grab bars in the bathroom. Use nightlights in the hallway. Store frequently used items within easy reach. These small changes can make a big difference. Exercise also plays a powerful role in fall prevention. Nina eventually joined a local fall prevention class at her community center. They did chair exercises, balance training, and strength workouts tailored for seniors. Within 3 months, she regained strength and, even more importantly, her confidence. She also started working on her leg and core muscles at home. Simple movements like standing from a chair without using your hands or balancing on one foot for a few seconds a day can be incredibly effective. Another underrated factor: vision. Eyesight changes gradually, and sometimes people do not notice how poorly they are seeing. Regular eye exams can catch problems early. Better vision means better balance, especially in dim lighting. And here is something else many forget: footwear. Wearing shoes with non-slip soles, good ankle support, and no heels can reduce your chances of slipping dramatically. Slippers and socks may feel comfortable, but they can increase your fall risk if they have a poor grip. Social connection helps too. People who feel isolated or depressed may be less likely to move, less likely to ask for help, and more likely to experience physical decline. So call a friend, join a local group, get moving together. Falling is not just a physical issue, it is emotional, social, and deeply personal. But it is also preventable. So if you or someone close to you has had a close call or even just feels a little unsteady lately, do not ignore it. Do something about it. The sooner you act, the more control you have. Remember, preventing falls is not about fear, it is about freedom. The freedom to walk into your kitchen, garden, or community space with confidence. the freedom to live on your terms. And that kind of freedom? It is worth every step you take to protect it. The third, respiratory disease. Breathing is one of those things we never think about until suddenly it becomes difficult. George, a retired truck driver from Missouri, had always been pretty active. He helped his neighbors with yard work, played with his grandkids, and loved grilling on Sundays. But last summer, during a backyard barbecue, he found himself gasping for air after walking just a few steps. He brushed it off as the heat or maybe just getting older, but it kept happening. A visit to his doctor revealed early-stage COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Like many others, George had never even heard of COPD. It's a chronic lung disease that makes it harder and harder to breathe over time, and it doesn't show up overnight. It creeps in slowly, often mistaken for age or being out of shape. Respiratory diseases like COPD and pneumonia are among the top causes of death for people over 75. Why? Because by that age, your lungs have already taken a lifetime of hits: pollution, secondhand smoke, allergies, cleaning chemicals, dust, and mold. Over the years, all those little irritants start to take their toll. George had smoked a bit in his younger years but had quit long ago. Still, the damage was there. His doctor told him something that stuck. You can't undo the past, but you can protect your lungs moving forward. That's when George decided to make a change. He got an air purifier for his living room and bedroom. He opened windows more often to keep the air fresh. He even checked his HVAC system and had the filters replaced regularly. Small things, yes, but they added up. He also started moving more. Nothing intense, just chair yoga, stretching, and a few laps around the block. When you move your body, you help your lungs expand fully. You clear out mucus, improve circulation, and strengthen the muscles around your chest. George said he could feel his breathing getting easier over time. One thing that often gets overlooked? Hydration. Drinking enough water helps thin mucus in the lungs, making it easier to cough out. It might sound simple, but staying hydrated can be a game changer. Vaccination is another crucial piece of the puzzle. For older adults, pneumonia and the flu aren't just uncomfortable, they can be deadly. George made sure to get his annual flu shot, his pneumonia vaccine, and he even asked his doctor about the RSV vaccine. Inside your home, pay attention to common triggers. Pet dander, scented candles, mildew, or that favorite old cleaning spray. Any of these can irritate if you have sensitive lungs. Switching to unscented or natural products can reduce that risk. And don't forget your posture. Sitting slouched over compresses your lungs. George began doing a simple breathing exercise each morning. Sit tall, breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and breathe out through the mouth for 6. It calms the nervous system and helps keep the lungs engaged. The most important thing George learned? Don't ignore the early signs. A lingering cough, wheezing, feeling short of breath while doing normal things. These aren't just aging. They're signals, and the earlier you listen, the more options you have. Respiratory health isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about having the energy to enjoy your life. Whether it's walking to the mailbox, gardening, or traveling to see family, your lungs play a role in all of it. George says he feels like he bought himself time, not by doing anything dramatic, but by paying attention and taking action early. He still grills on Sundays, he still laughs with his grandkids, but now he does it with ease. So take a deep breath right now. How does it feel? If it's strained, tight, or shallow, that might be your body asking for help, and that help can start today. With clean air, movement, hydration, and a conversation with your doctor. Your lungs never stop working for you, so it makes sense to give them the care they need to keep going strong. The fourth, stroke. A stroke can change your life in an instant. No warning, no time to think. Just one moment, everything feels normal, and the next, something is very wrong. Clara, an 82-year-old grandmother from Ohio, was reading her favorite bedtime story to her grandson when it happened. One moment she was smiling. Next, her speech became slurred, and her right arm dropped. Her daughter luckily was nearby. She had seen a video online about stroke signs and called emergency services right away. Clara was having what's known as an ischemic stroke. It means blood flow to part of her brain had been suddenly blocked. Without that oxygen-rich blood, her brain cells began to die within minutes. The good news? Her daughter's quick response made all the difference. Clara got medical attention fast and began rehab within a few days. She still reads to her grandson, but now she also tells everyone about the signs to watch for. And that's the scary part. Most people don't recognize the signs. They wait. They think, I'll lie down or it'll pass. But when it comes to stroke, every second counts. You might have heard the acronym FAST. F stands for face drooping. A is for arm weakness. S is for speech difficulty. T means it's time to call emergency services. These signs might show up together or on their own, but none of them should be ignored. Now let's talk about what causes a stroke. High blood pressure is the biggest risk factor. When blood pressure stays high for too long, it damages the inside of your arteries. This makes it easier for clots to form or vessels to burst. And just like that, a stroke happens. Another cause? Irregular heartbeat, like atrial fibrillation. It makes blood flow uneven. Sometimes it pools and a clot can form. If that clot travels to your brain, it can block a vessel and cause a stroke. The scary part? These conditions often have no symptoms. Clara had high blood pressure for years, but she never felt any different. That's why regular checkups are key. Your doctor can monitor your blood pressure, check your heart rhythm, and catch problems before they become emergencies. Diet plays a role too. A lot of salt, processed food, and unhealthy fats can raise blood pressure and clog arteries. Clara made some big changes after her stroke. She swapped canned soups for homemade ones. She cut down on processed snacks and started eating more greens, beans, and berries. Small steps, big gains. She also started moving more. You don't have to run laps. Simple walks, light stretching, even dancing in the kitchen can get your blood flowing and keep your body strong. Sleep matters too. Your body repairs itself at night. Poor sleep can raise stress levels and affect blood pressure. Clara makes sure to keep a bedtime routine and stays off screens before bed. She also avoids heavy meals late in the evening. Let's not forget about hydration. Dehydration thickens your blood, making it more likely to clot. Something as simple as sipping water throughout the day can help lower your risk. And here's a tip Clara swears by: keeping a stroke checklist on the fridge. That way, if something happens again, her family knows exactly what to look for and what to do. Strokes can be devastating, but they're not always fatal, and more importantly, up to 80% of strokes are preventable. That's huge. So here's the takeaway. Know the signs. Monitor your blood pressure. Eat foods that fuel your body, not clog it. Move daily. Rest well. And drink your water. Clara will tell you that she was lucky, but it wasn't just luck. It was knowledge. It was action. And it was love. From a daughter who recognized the signs in time. Take that story to heart, because the person who notices a stroke might be you or someone you love, and what you do in those first few moments could make all the difference. The fifth, cognitive decline. Let's talk about something that many older adults fear, but few talk about: cognitive decline. It usually starts small, forgetting where you left your keys, losing track of what day it is, struggling to find the right word in the middle of a conversation. Most people brush it off and say, oh, it's just a senior moment. But what happens when those moments start piling up? Dennis, a 78-year-old retired librarian from Pennsylvania, started noticing subtle changes. He would forget appointments, repeat the same story at dinner, or misplace everyday items. His wife, Carol, noticed too. At first they both laughed it off, but then Dennis got lost driving to the store he had been going to for over 20 years. That was the turning point. They went to see a neurologist, and Dennis was diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's. It was a tough moment, but it was also the start of something better, because Dennis and Carol didn't just sit and wait for things to get worse. They got proactive. Dennis began doing puzzles every morning. He picked up chess again, something he had loved in his youth. Carol found a senior fitness class that included memory games and physical movement. They started cooking meals rich in omega-3s, berries, leafy greens, and whole grains. Their kitchen became their new pharmacy. But it was not just about food and games. Dennis also made a point to stay socially connected. He called old friends, he joined a book club, he even began volunteering at the local library again, reading to children once a week. Staying mentally sharp is not just about memory, it's about protecting your independence. When your brain is healthy, you remember to take your medication, you make safer decisions, you stay engaged with your surroundings and the people you care about. Cognitive decline can affect so many parts of life. For example, people with memory loss may forget to eat, or they may eat the same thing over and over again, leading to poor nutrition. Others might forget to drink water, causing dehydration, which can make confusion even worse. Some may even leave the stove on or wander out the front door without realizing where they are going. That is why it's so important to take small steps early on, because the earlier you act, the more control you have over how slowly the decline progresses. One important tool? Sleep. Your brain clears out toxins while you rest. Getting at least 7 hours of quality sleep each night is one of the best things you can do for your mind. That means limiting screen time before bed, sticking to a regular bedtime, and creating a calm, quiet sleep environment. Movement helps too. Walking, stretching, or even light dancing gets blood flowing to your brain, which supports memory and concentration. And don't forget about stress. Chronic stress can shrink parts of the brain responsible for learning and memory. So take time to relax, breathe, listen to music, spend time outdoors, talk with someone. Even a short walk with a friend can reduce stress levels and keep your brain healthier. If you are worried about your memory, talk to your doctor. They can run simple tests and help you figure out if it is normal aging or something more. And if it is something more, the sooner you know, the more you can do. Dennis is doing well. His memory is not what it used to be, but he still laughs, loves, and lives fully every day. He says, "You can't change the fact that you're aging, but you can choose how you age." So if you have noticed changes in your memory or someone close to you has, do not ignore it. Take action, challenge your brain, feed it good food, move your body, connect with others. Because the goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better with clarity, dignity, and joy. So here we are. We have covered 5 major threats that take the lives of most people after the age of 75. But the truth is, these are not just statistics. They are deeply personal stories. They are about real people, real choices, and real chances to change. Maybe you see yourself in Harold, who took charge of his heart health, or in Nina, who turned a fall into a fresh start. Perhaps George's story reminded you to breathe easier, or Clara's close call made you want to pay attention to the little things. And Dennis? He showed us that even when your mind starts to wander, your spirit does not have to. You might be asking, can I make a difference at my age? The answer is yes, absolutely yes. Change does not have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as adding 1 vegetable to your plate, taking a short walk after dinner, or checking in with your doctor more regularly. These small steps stack up over time. The real power comes from starting now. Not tomorrow, not next month, now. Because the longer you wait, the fewer choices you have. But the moment you decide to take action, just one action, you begin to take control. And that control leads to freedom. Freedom to move without fear, freedom to think clearly, freedom to keep doing the things you love with the people you care about. That is the gift of awareness and the beauty of action. You deserve a life filled with clarity, strength, and peace of mind, and it is never too late to claim it. So, what have we learned? Aging does not mean giving up. It means getting smarter about how we live. It means being more intentional, more proactive, and more aware. Whether it is your heart, your balance, your lungs, your brain, or your risk of stroke, there are steps you can take starting today. None of the 5 major causes of death after 75 is inevitable. They are challenges, yes, but they are also opportunities. opportunities to take better care of your body, opportunities to eat foods that heal instead of harm, opportunities to build strength, restore energy, and stay connected to the people who matter most. Maybe your story will look like Harold's, Nina's, or Clara's. Maybe you will be the one who recognizes the signs in someone else. Or maybe you just needed a reminder that it is never too late to begin again. The important thing is that you now have information. You are not in the dark. You can make a choice right now to take one small step toward better health. That step might be scheduling a checkup, or walking to the mailbox, or swapping out a frozen meal for something fresh. It might be calling a friend, or drinking a little more water today than you did yesterday. Every one of those choices matters. Because when you take care of yourself, you are not just adding time to your life, you are adding life to your time. You are choosing clarity over confusion, strength over decline, and independence over helplessness. That is what this journey is really about, and it starts with you. If something in this video spoke to you, maybe a story, a warning sign, or a simple tip, take a moment and share it in the comments below. Your voice matters. You never know who might read your comment and feel less alone, or more inspired to make a change. And if this video gave you a new perspective or reminded you of something important, give it a thumbs up. Better yet, share it with someone you care about. A neighbor, a sibling, a friend who could use a gentle nudge to take care of their health. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We create videos each week to help you stay informed, feel supported, and age with strength and confidence. You're not in this alone. We're here walking alongside you, one step, one story, one decision at a time.